Too fast, too soon, Christine's children sounded the alarm on David Woolley. When Sister Wives star Robyn Brown finally walked away from her spiritually polygamous marriage to Kody Brown, fans cheered her on like a hometown hero making a break for freedom. Her exit was a bold, empowering step, one that resonated with thousands of viewers who had watched her endure years of emotional neglect, jealousy, and heartbreak. But no one expected what came next. Just months after leaving behind decades of plural marriage, Christine shocked fans when she went public with a new man, David Woolley. Handsome, soft-spoken, and seemingly perfect, David appeared to be everything Kody wasn't. Attentive, respectful, and most importantly, monogamous. The internet was flooded with photos of Christine beaming beside him, captions glowing with phrases like soulmate and finally happy. But not everyone was celebrating. Behind the filtered Instagram smiles and fairy tale captions, a storm was brewing inside the Brown family, particularly among Christine's children. According to insiders, several of her kids were deeply alarmed by how quickly things escalated with David, and they weren't afraid to say so. The fast-track romance that raised eyebrows. When Christine first introduced David Woolley to the world in early 2023, the timeline caught fans, and her kids, off guard. Just over a year had passed since her split from Kody, and already she was declaring David the love of my life. To many outsiders, it was a beautiful rebound story. But to her children, especially those who'd witnessed her pain up close, it was a red flag. We just didn't want her to get hurt again. A source close to the family revealed. She went through so much with Dad. It's not that we didn't like David. We just didn't trust how fast it was all happening. Mike Kelty speaks out. We were protective, not judgmental. Mike Kelty Padron, one of Christine's most outspoken daughters, later admitted during a live stream that she and some of her siblings were initially skeptical about the whirlwind romance. When she told us she was dating again, we were happy for her. But when she said she was in love, like right away, that scared us, Mike Kelty confessed. We've seen her heart get broken. We've seen her trust the wrong person. So yeah, we had questions. Those questions weren't meant to sabotage Christine's happiness, but to protect it. According to multiple sources, at least 3 of her older children confronted her privately, urging her to slow down and really get to know David before committing too fast. They weren't against David himself, one insider said. They just worried she was rushing toward the idea of love instead of really healing from what she went through with Kody. Peyton's explosive concern. Christine's son Peyton Brown, never one to shy away from drama, reportedly voiced the strongest concerns. He hinted at his unease in multiple TikToks and live streams, using cryptic language to avoid directly naming names. In one now-deleted post, he said, "Sometimes people move on fast because they're trying to forget what happened. Forgetting isn't healing." Fans quickly speculated that he was referring to Christine, and not without reason. Peyton has been vocal in the past about how much emotional weight his mother carried in the Brown household. In his eyes, her newfound love may have been real, but it also might have been a bandage over deeper wounds. He didn't want to be the bad guy, the insider shared. But he was scared for her. He didn't want to see her hurt again or get used to a new man only to be let down. Christine's response, "I deserve joy." Still, Christine wasn't about to let anyone, including her children, dim the joy she felt with David. When rumors began to circulate about family tensions, she addressed them in a surprisingly candid Instagram post. "Yes, my kids had concerns. Yes, they asked hard questions. But they also know I'm an adult, and I'm finally choosing myself. After decades of not feeling cherished, I deserve joy." In that post, she included a photo of David holding her hand in a quiet cafe, both of them smiling softly. The caption continued, "This love feels safe. It feels different. It feels earned." Her words struck a chord with many fans who had followed her journey from heartbreak to healing. But even so, whispers of family tension continued behind the scenes. Behind closed doors, family meetings, and emotional showdowns. According to someone close to the family, Christine hosted a private gathering not long after going public with David, inviting several of her children for an in-person heart-to-heart. It was emotional, the source shared. There were tears. There were long pauses. But there was also honesty. Christine reportedly reassured them that she wasn't blindly diving in. She had spent months getting to know David before introducing him to the public, and longer before introducing him to the family. She made it clear that this wasn't a Kody repeat, the source added. She told them, "This is not about needing a man. This is about choosing one. On my terms." That moment seemed to shift the dynamic. While not every child was immediately won over, most began to warm up, especially once they spent more time with David. David steps into the spotlight, carefully. For his part, David Woolley took a deliberate and respectful approach to Christine's children. Rather than trying to win them over with grand gestures, he reportedly focused on being present, listening, and letting them come around in their own time. He wasn't pushy. He didn't try to be their new dad. He just showed up, the source shared. Over time, he built rapport, particularly with Christine's younger daughters, who were more open and excited about their mom's happiness. In a now viral family photo, Christine and David are seen surrounded by several of her kids, including Kody, Truly, and Gwendolyn. The mood is light. The smiles seem real. And the caption, just one word, family. Turning point, the wedding proposal. When Christine and David announced their engagement, some fans expected a wave of backlash from her children. But surprisingly, most of them supported the decision publicly, especially once they saw how grounded and genuine the relationship had become. Kody later posted a heartfelt message. "It was fast, and I was scared. But I see now how happy my mom is. And honestly, she deserves every bit of it." Even Peyton, previously the loudest skeptic, offered a more reserved blessing, saying during a podcast interview, "They're happy. That's what matters. I just hope it stays that way." Christine's final word, "I listened. And I loved anyway." Christine has never been one to shy away from vulnerability. In a recent tell-all interview, she reflected on the whirlwind nature of her romance with David and the resistance she faced, even from those closest to her. "I understand why they were worried. I do. But at some point, we all have to choose what kind of life we want. I chose one where I am loved, fully and openly, without conditions." She continued, "I listened to my kids. I heard their fears, and I gave them time. But I also loved anyway, and I'm so glad I did." A new chapter, built on trust. Now, with wedding bells on the horizon and a bright new chapter unfolding, it seems Christine has found her peace and earned her children's cautious but heartfelt support. Their concerns were never about control. They were about love, about protection, about making sure the woman who held their world together for so many years wasn't stepping into another heartbreak disguised as a fairy tale. And now, they're walking beside her, not behind her, hand in hand into whatever comes next. Because sometimes the road to happiness is fast, but that doesn't mean it's wrong.